OnePlus finally updated the OnePlus Watch 2. We finally have the OnePlus Watch 3. This one is actually a true successor to last year's OnePlus Watch. We saw the OnePlus 2R, and that was more of an affordable version of the OnePlus Watch 2, which gave us great experiences. Again, I felt like they kept all of the good things of the Watch 2 and brought it into a more affordable price. But the Watch 3 takes the Watch 2 and flips it on its head. They bring in so many new things, new display, longer battery life, and new functionalities that we didn't even have before. This is TK, and this is the OnePlus Watch 3. Better in every way. Like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell icon so you're always notified to whenever we have new videos for you on the channel. So this is the packaging for the OnePlus Watch 3. There is two different colors that are going to be available. There is the black one, and of course there is the green one as far as the strap, but it's primarily going to be the black titanium or the silver titanium, and that's going to be the bezel that we have in here. The straps themselves are replaceable, and to my understanding is the two colors available right now are the black and green, and we're hoping to see an additional color coming out very soon. This is running Wear OS 5.0. This is running Android Wear, so Wear OS by Google, and it is running the latest version of Wear OS on here out of the box. We have a larger battery capable of taking us all the way up to 5 days of battery life, which is an extra day over what we had last time. So a 25% improvement. So again, much better than what we had before. A beautiful AMOLED display here. This is going to be something that is new. It's an LTPO display that gives us the ability of getting it up to 2200 peak brightness on this display. So no issue seeing this in the sun. In the box, of course, includes the charger. It is a USB-C charger. You're able to charge this with your OnePlus charger. And it is a pogo pin magnetic connector on the bottom. So basically just matches the pins on the bottom. You put it on and it's pretty much straightforward. It is strong enough to hold the watch, not strong enough to keep the watch on, but it is definitely very nice and simple. And the charged watch itself does charge very quickly from 0 to 100%. The crown that we have in here is different now. We actually have the ability of using it as a spinning crown, which is something that we had always asked for from the original OnePlus Watch 2. So if we're looking at the actual design, the design itself looked very similar, but you could definitely see the aesthetics that they did here. We went to, of course, an LTPO AMOLED display. Now, aesthetically, they look very similar. You could definitely notice the differences in the upgrades as far as the display, the bezels. They did change the color of the green a little bit. This is the green from 2024, and this is the green in 2025. Slightly different, but very much feel the exact same way. You're able to change them. They're very nice, easy to replace. You could just basically unpin it from the bottom and pick up an additional one. We have OnePlus as far as the moniker in there, the sensors, of course, the pogo pin connectors at the bottom. Speaker and microphone built into this as well, because we also have, see, the microphone is sitting right here. If I'm not mistaken, the speaker is sitting all the way on the opposite side for us to be able to answer and make calls from this, as well as use the Google Assistant, as this is using Wear OS by pressing and holding on the crown. That initiates the Assistant. And of course, you're able to customize it, connect it to your smartphone, and utilize that. The watch face that I'm using here is not the standard or the default one that it came with. There is a nice green one here that comes with it that looks very nice and classic. I like to use this one a little bit more, mostly because of the functionalities that we have in here. We have the ability of jumping in here, launching the weather application, the ability of launching the basically alarms, jumping into workout mode to be able to turn that on right away. And of course, we also have the ability of turning on the media player to be able to listen to music from there, which is very nice. Now, swiping from the bottom gives us access to notifications, pretty straightforward. Swiping from the left, I've customized this. So you'll notice right there, we have basically the battery here, weather here for my area, some default timers. This is obviously my calendar, workout mode, moderate here for the mood. We'll talk about that in a second. Continuous heart rate in here. And of course, my sleep tracking from last night. As you can see, it actually works very, very nicely. And this one is just pretty much from today. It's still a little bit early in the morning, so not a lot of steps going on in there. And then of course, takes me straight back to the main lock screen. Pressing on holding here, you basically can change the different options and of course change the different watch faces, the different options in there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the standard one is this one, and that's the one that comes straight out of the box with it. This is the OnePlus one. I personally, again, prefer the other one that we have built in here. Not this, and it looks kind of similar to this, but it's this one. It's actually called the Daily Activity. Very nice, very simple, and it fills in the color as you complete the rings. So it's a little bit more, I would say basically easy to track. On the bottom, access directly into the workout mode. That's pretty much straightforward from what we had before. On the top, if you press the crown, it takes you to the actual app gallery here, or basically your app drawer. You have different functionalities, the ability of controlling our camera, And I love this new gesture, the new functional options that they added in here that give us the ability of actually controlling our smartphone. Let's say when you're watching TikTok or let's say Instagram, and you want to be able to scroll to the next TikTok or Instagram, but you don't want to lean over and grab the phone. And now you can actually do it straight from your watch. Now, as you see here, this is just a collection of some of my reels. I can actually just swipe in here and it just keeps going. And you can basically customize it, go back and change the experience. There's even a functional option here when you go to the left. You can actually hit the back button and that takes you back. So you can customize this to work not only with, let's say, TikTok or Instagram, but you can also customize it to work with YouTube and even use it with a camera. So an example would be right here. Let's go ahead and go back in here. I'm going to swipe back in there. And I'm able to change between the different cameras. So here, the different options there, I'm able to change. Of course, you're able to customize the experience. And let's say I want to be able to start, or let's say have it take a photo. I can switch over here with the action button on the side. And at this point, because we know that the volume rocker is a trigger, I can actually just snap an image. I'll take it's taking a night mode image, obviously, because of where it is. But what I also like about this is if let's say I'm in the middle of it, I can also have it kind of try to tap and change the exposure a little bit by underexposing or even overexposing the subject in the actual image. Straight forward, moving forward, changing the actual experiences in there. A lot of it is very nice, very customizable. It's directly installed out of the box and it is sitting here, and that's that control little function on the left side. We have the Google Play Store, of course. We can download additional applications, customize them. Of course, Maps, Google Assistant, Barometer, all that info. And of course, YouTube Music in there as well, if you like to use it. And of course, you can pair your own buds directly into it and listen to music when you go outside for a run without needing your smartphone because, of course, the GPS functionalities that we have in here for great tracking. So as an example here, would be jumping into the experience. You'll notice right there, the GPS will go straight away, start turning on and try to actually lock into the GPS signal. And once it's ready, you're able to hit it and go for your outdoor run, customize it, and then go straight forward from there. I love the functions that are very easy and simple to use. The notification panel or the toggles at the top, pretty straightforward. There's a nice little option here for night mode now. You can turn that on. And essentially all it does is it shuts off the display at night and it just puts the device into sleep mode and allows it to save battery. And that's one of the things that gives us the ability of going up to 5 days of battery life. Now that, well, we used to have basically a good solid 4 days. Now we have a good solid 5 days of battery life. Now to be able to use this device, you do need to be able to download the O Health application, which pretty much means this only works on Android currently. You pair the device straightforward in there. There's a QR code. Once you put it actually near the device, it'll automatically turn on auto pair. You can customize it. These are the customizable watch faces that you're able to go in there. There's additional ones that you're able to check, go directly, download additional ones. You can even install custom ones directly from the Google Play Store. One thing to mention that if you're going to use custom watch faces on your watch, that the battery life will start to diminish a little bit higher than normal. The ones that are built in or made specifically for the watch out of the box are the ones that are going to give you the best battery life because they're optimized in there. So the claim of 5 days of battery life is not claimed there with a custom watch face, let's say Watcher or something like that. You're actually going to be using the built-in stock ones that we have in there. They have parental control mode, of course, app market. You can customize the experience, jump in, download different applications directly in there. You can customize the tiles, the way they're positioned, where they are, and the order that they're in there. So this is pretty much how we saw that on the actual watch on my wrist. Notifications, you can give it access, all notifications from all applications. And of course, syncs, phone notifications, calendar events, all of the things that you normally have will automatically come over. Workout and health, pretty straightforward. You can set your goals, activities, fall detection. Of course, you have that in there. Heart rate detection, smart, continuous heart rate detection for me. And of course, all the different options to be able to see the REM sleep tracking, sleep mode, auto pause, auto workout detection is on to, if you just jump into a workout without turning it on, it'll automatically start tracking that for you. As far as the heart, this is going to be the health experience or the journey in here. You notice here, it gives me access to the sleep. I can see my week experience. I can see here I've been using it. And of course, I can jump into the month. I've had this watch since the 31st and I started using it very religiously from the 6th. So you can definitely see here from that point on, I was able to use it. I didn't have it on me every single night, but that's definitely something to keep in mind. But other than that, you're able to also jump into a workout, jump in here, elliptical, outdoor. Those are the different workouts that we did in there. You can jump in, see the customizations, heart rate, all the different metric data. It keeps a very good track of everything in there for you. Very, very good. And of course, an outdoor walk that was actually a pretty quick one. Now, one of the nice things that I like about this, alongside with all the different health metrics that we're able to get, the heart rate, the sleep tracking, the mind and body, the SpO2, of course, records in there, as well as the 60-second health check, the ECG functionality. One thing to mention is the ECG functionality has not been officially approved for OnePlus, at least in the US or the Canadian area. So for the most part, although I'm able to show you some information in here, this is not available on day one, and that functionality actually has been disabled on my unit. And what I'm able to show you guys right now is some footage that I was able to basically capture before this functionality was disabled in my area. It is not, and then it does essentially check the fact that if you don't have a SIM card or you try to do things into it, it won't work. It just needs to have a SIM card, and it has to be outside of the two areas, or at least in an area where it has been approved. Because you notice right now I'm actually running it in airplane mode, and that is not helping me at all. But overall, when you're able to actually do that, you're also able to see the wrist temperature here. This is also kind of like an indicator of a body temperature that you're able to go through, and that will basically just keep tracking and give you an indication of what your temperature is when you're running. Especially when you're working out, you could definitely see the temperature will rise. Caloric, of course, step counter, all the different information. But when you jump into the health tracking or the 60-second health check-in, you're able to see different information. So these are basically from previous options or different readings that I was able to do. You can see here the ECG. And when we click on the ECG functionality, you can definitely see here the different tests that we were able to do. It actually did run this. I ran it a couple of times as well. There was no information or no issue at all for me at the time. And of course, vascular age, heart rate at the time, the SpO2, the mind and body. It goes through, it does wrist temperature as well as sleep. This, again, at the time I was running it, not all the data was available for this. And you're also, of course, able to share that. Now that the function has been disabled for me in the US, because again, I'm using the same watch here in the US, that function isn't there. The data is in there primarily because I was able to preview it ahead of time, but then it's been updated in the actual App Store from the Google Play Store for us at least. Of course, you can go through and check all the information. All of this information is synced up directly into their site. And as you can see here, the data itself kind of references some of the information when I was using the OnePlus Watch 2 and of course switched over to the OnePlus Watch 3. And that's where we are right now on the 16th as it's still gathering data. But it's great to be able to have that information available for you exactly and everywhere you want to go. And I love the fact that we have that ECG functionality. My hope is that at some point it does get the certification that it needs in the US and that feature gets added, since the hardware can actually do the function. Now we just need to have it available for us. The Watch 2 has been my favorite watch since launch last year at MWC 2024. I've been using it and slightly, switched over from one watch to another, but I've always gotten back to the Watch 2. And the reason behind that is it gave me that beautiful, I would say, middle ground between fully functional Wear OS 5.0 with assistant functional smartwatch, and then a low power mode fitness tracker RTOS running system in one device. The 4 days of battery life was consistent, and even when I've forgotten my charger, keep that in mind, it jumps into low power mode and I get an additional 3 to 4 days before I have to get back home and charge my device. And typically I'm never gone for more than a week, so that kind of works out really well for me. But for like a short weekend, going on a quick trip for 2 or 3 days, even if I forgot the charger, it's done. And if I don't need it, I can just jump into battery saving mode right away. And then when I start with a higher level of the battery, and it'll last me even longer, up to 30 days with just the power saving functionality. So when we had that with the Watch 2, and then OnePlus comes back and says, wait bro, let me just give you a much better experience here with the Watch 3. So we have an additional day, so we're up to 5 days of usage now, and it has been consistent. I've run it through at least 2 full cycles of 5 days worth of battery life. And this is including notifications, responding notification. I did a couple of workouts in there. Not a lot of outdoor running. It was more indoors on treadmills, ellipticals, and weights. So there was a lot more indoor activity. I didn't really tax the GPS. But the tracking on the GPS, when I did run it a couple of times, was very accurate. And I liked the fact that it was very precise to what I needed it to be. So the tracking function works very well. Also, as you noticed there, as I showed you guys, the watch face that I have had that already set up there so that I can go out there and turn on the GPS function. But to top that off with the new technology, we have obviously the AMOLED display that we have in here, the ability of having higher peak brightness, and of course the optimizations with the battery. It gives us not only a longer battery life, still easy to charge it really quick with the charger that comes with my OnePlus 13 or even OnePlus 12. It's essentially just superfood for your smartwatch. It charges fast, gets you back on the road, and it gets going. For me, I stay on with it when I wake up in the morning to charge my phone. I typically just put the watch on the charger once it's pretty close to almost dead, like about 10 to 13%, and charge it back up to 100% and then forget about it for about 5 days. And that's what I like about it. I'm a little bit bummed that the ECG is not available for us right now, as it actually kind of changes the experience when we need to do that 60-second health check that we have that currently doesn't work because of that. It's part of it. And I hope maybe at some point, if it isn't going to come to the US, maybe we can supplement that with another function, and then we can get a version of the 60-second health check for us here in the US. But with that exception, even putting that on the side, it still runs really good. Super fast connectivity, super fast functionality, and a lot of good features that I feel like make it a true upgrade from the Watch 2 that we got last year. So if you're in the market for a smartwatch, if you're running an Android device, this I feel like is a must-have, and it will get you into the OnePlus experience very heavy, very easy, and very, you'll basically enjoy it right out of the box. Just set it up, charge it, and get it going. Two different colors on the band as well as the actual watch itself. Again, you can buy your own person, you can customize it, do whichever one you want. But at the end of the day, I hope that you found this video helpful. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think of the brand new OnePlus Watch 3? Is this the watch for you for 2025? Or maybe something for a friend or family member that you know that may be looking to get a new smartwatch? This is TK. I will see you in the next video.